Welcome everyone to your weekly Dose of Truth Tarot with me, Terryann Nikitas. Bird is back in Canada while I remain in Florida. And we're going to look, this is March 13th to the 19th, 2026. And we're going to be looking at anything philosophical, spiritual, that kind of energy I'm just sending out or sending into the cards so that we can look at, what we are as humans on this planet are looking at in relationship to identification and attachment. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say about that. And yeah, I was going to shuffle them, but I'll just pick. So one, this is the Emperor. So we're looking at the masculine, and it can also be what is patriarchal. So when it comes to identification, it looks like anything that would relate to the structure and function, let's say, of patriarchy in relationship to the individual and their identification with whatever. So if someone is if a female or a male, it doesn't really matter, is identifying with the masculine, they could either use it as a positive or a negative. When we look at the emperor, this is the moment in time when we go through our journey and we come to a very strong place where we're able to manifest, create structure, have abundance in our lives. So we usually start our journey with nothing, and the journey goes off into figuring out how to use our wits to be able to to feed ourselves, to house ourselves, etc. I'm going through the cards that come before the Emperor, but I'm not going to list them all. I'm just going to give you this sort of story that once we go out on a journey with nothing, we're able to figure out how to make a fire and hunt and feed ourselves, and then build a shelter, and then we go from there into self-reflection. You might recognize that as the Priestess if you know your tarot cards. So we go into self-reflection, and there's a discovery that all that is required is within. That is the abundance of the Empress, and then we come to the Emperor who manifests all of this. So when there's identification with this, it can become negative or positive. So when we look at the majors, we want to look at them as something that is it holds within it the dark and the dark shadow and the light, or the conscious, right? So the Emperor is mostly the consciousness, right? That consciousness, that awareness, having gone through enough things to come out the other end and kind of go, okay, now I know how to live life, how to function. This is where patriarchy is often misinterpreted and taken to extreme, and we go, okay, there's someone who's dominating or something like that, whereas that's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at since the question is about identification and attachment, we're looking at, hey, if we can figure things out, then we don't necessarily have to identify or attach with either. We can use it to our benefit. So let's see what the next card says. I'm going to pull 3 just to figure out. So there would be success. So this is telling us, all right, you can be very successful when you understand how to be detached from the, let's say, identities or identifying with the patriarchy. So you can imagine either way, whether female, male, doesn't really matter. We start to identify, we're going to start to think things that are superior, that are arrogant, and it doesn't matter which way we go. There's always this sense of arrogance instead of understanding what the actual structure is and how that structure and function work for us and bring us to success. And the last card, I'm hoping it's going to be feminine. There we go. So it says to be cautious of identifying with the masculine as something that is superior. Okay, so this is the way I'm looking at it, because we've got the Emperor, then we go to success. So that success can become something that dictates to the consciousness that we are superior. And once that occurs, then there is strife, instead of understanding that this is just a phase that we go through. Yes, someone might know something a little bit more once they're able to manifest, and they can teach, they can, which would be the, a step, or they can show you how to do something, sure. But when it comes to identification, this is where the superiority can't happen, right? There's always somebody who, like there can be somebody who knows how to type better than someone else. There's always someone who knows how to run a business better than someone else. Okay, that's fine. That does not mean the individual is better. In this case, we're looking at identification, where the individual feels as though they are better than the other. And this causes strife and conflict in life. So maybe you want to look around, see where you feel superior or inferior to others. Because if you feel inferior, that perpetuates the superiority issues, right? Because once you begin to be a victim, you need the victimizer. You need that person. You are seeking out, if you're identified with the victim, you are seeking out the victimizer, so you will create them as you go along. Even if the person isn't victimizing you will find a way in which they will victimize you. So time to kind of step up and reduce that strife. This is for yourself, for your loved ones, and for the world around you. So let's make this world a better place. Bye, everyone.